Hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm Batch Be Trippin', and today we're starting part 2 of the God's Eye Nebula Watercolor painting. So where we left off, we had just put our first layer of black, and you can see it's pretty dark in some places, and it's a little lighter in other places. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and start blending. You know, there's a lot of like little harsher lines where it looks really obvious that this was placed here with a brush. So yeah, we're just gonna cloud that up a little bit. I'm using the little IKEA brush, the skinny little IKEA brush. I forget what I called it, but I just feel like it has a good impact with the blending because it really kind of dilutes that black. It's a real presence. It's like, hey, I'm here and I'm blending. Yeah, it's really gonna smooth out those lines, really have it traveling around, but smoky gosses. So it's been like a year since I last worked on this painting. I had started recording, and in between segments while things were drying, I would try editing the video, and I just got really discouraged because nothing was looking how I wanted it to look. Not as far as the painting. Well, a little bit with the painting, but mostly my lighting and my video. Lighting's still not great. I'm troubleshooting it. Maybe it'll get progressively better as the video goes on. But mostly it was the picture quality I was really pissed off about. Yeah, it wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't capturing the painting like I wanted it to. So, oh, and my audio also. I was really pissed off at my audio. It sounded terrible. So yeah, I was really discouraged. I eventually did more painting, and I recorded it, but I didn't really bother editing the footage. And then I put it away for a while. A little over a year, actually. I recently found myself with a lot more time on my hands to come back to this. And I figured, you know what, I've got the time. May as well get back to it. I mean, what else am I gonna do? It's looking alright. But you know what? That's what I love about watercolor, is you can leave a painting alone for a year and you can still go back into blood with water. I don't know if you're supposed to do that. I don't know if the paint's supposed to do that, but that's what it does, so that's what I do. Fall into a little bit of a depression. Scorn myself. Say I'm untalented. And then I just pick it right back up again. That's how it's supposed to be done. Pretty sure. That's how I've done every hobby I've ever done, so I feel like I'm a bit of an expert on acquiring and deserting hobbies. I realize I'm making some shadows on camera here. Apologies for that. I mean, we're gonna put more layer. We're gonna layer some more black on top of this. Oh, I got so much blending to do. Yeah, I gotta come up with some better lighting solutions here. I might just go purchase myself a ring light tomorrow. If there's time. That looks real pretty though. Little stripy zone here. Make sure it looks nice. Just can't get over that stripe. Loved it last time too. Now I love it more. It's got those little shadows in there. It makes it look so cool. So you can see when we soften those lines up, gives it that cloudiness. That's what I want. Nebulas are cloudy. You can see there's like a little curve here. Highlighted curve. I kind of want to make sure we kind of keep that because I like it. Soften it up a little bit. May as well keep working our way this way. I'm doing the poking and jabbing right now because I still want to get God's little eyelashes in there, you know? And we'll highlight stuff in the black later. Use the blending for that directionality also. I should also add, I'm very much messing up my brush doing this. I don't recommend it. Or do it like with a brush that you don't mind getting messed up. I don't really use this one much for painting, it's mostly a blending brush. I have so many damn brushes. Which I realized today while I was digging through my brush collection, trying to find the exact ones I used in the previous video. Too many. But yeah, since this one is primarily a blending brush for me, I don't really care how it looks. And really, the more frayed it is, the better it'll be for blending, so I'm really just helping myself in the future. I always try to just let it all flow together when I'm blending, like, oh, this section kind of meets up with this section, this goes down over here, and it becomes this little thing. It gives it that continuous cloudiness. Continuity is important. I gotta say though, I have been looking forward to blending out this black for the last year. Alright. Well, that looks pretty well blended. Yeah, you know what? I don't want to muddy it, so before I put any more color on it, I'm gonna let it dry. So we'll be back, hopefully with a better lighting situation. Alright, and we're back. So everything's fully dry after the blending of the black. So now it's time to go in with some other colors again. I want to get that yellow popping a bit more in some places, and I also want to incorporate a little bit more of the blues and purples and stuff into that. A lot of the blues though, I really want to work on the blues. Yes. I'm going to take my fat IKEA brush, I think. So yeah, I wanted to start with the yellows, I think. So I'll go ahead and start with the yellows. Here we go. Okay. So I'll highlight the yellow. Some slanted plorps. I like my nebulas to be colorful, which is hard to do with watercolor. Watercolor fades. Put the eyelashes back. Since we put that black, can't really see the streaks we had subtly underneath. Let me just bring back, you know. And a little bit of our orange yellow, kind of on the borders of that little cradle of color. Dab it on right at the border of where it's wet. Just let it kind of pool there. Kind of the most color that way. We'll probably go in and touch this up more. Tread lightly over here where its puddle's a little bit thicker. I don't want to take a whole streak. Just a little pop of color. And we'll do the same thing with the other yellow spots. Just kind of a little cradle of color. Wet the area of it first. Pop down some color puddles. A little more on the top here. Because over here the top looks more like a color tube rather than a color cradle. And it all kind of emanates out also. Very lightly, very gently. Just kind of in that area. And then here, we're back to cradling. I like to wet it a bit with color first as a kind of guide, and then when you put more on there, it'll just kind of stay in that wet area. So that's cool. That's a cool thing. This over here is mostly orange. Should be at least. Try to add some white to the yellow also, but I'll just kind of let that. And now I want to emphasize some of the blues. Mixed a little bit of the cobalt with white. Make it a little bit lighter. It's coming on real strong. I just want it to be just a touch lighter. Little bits of the dried paint coming out. Purple's gorgeous. Yes, mama. Mama mauve. Except this time, it's actually mauve when I say it is. Isn't that great? Fade the black into the blue more. Put a little bit more of the darker blue. More of the darker blue over here. So it looks more like that black is encroaching more here without really ruining that gorgeous streak that I love so much. Just kind of fast little erratic plorts. Not too erratic. Just wherever you see you want that color. On the top side of it as well. You don't want to encroach too much on the prettiness there. I just want to bring joy to this bleak and hostile world. It seems to be getting bleaker and more hostile by the day. But hey, we're not worrying about the world right now. We're in space. Let's really encroach on that eye. Let's get uncomfortably close to that eye. Let's make it squint a little. We'll leave that the way it is, let it dry before I start messing things up. Probably put some more black on this and probably highlight some of the lighter areas that we want to highlight with some white. Maybe we'll add some stars. We might be ready for stars. It depends on how dark the black comes out the next layer. But stars might be coming soon. Anyway, we're gonna leave it. Okay, so this is dry now. And now it's time to add our second layer of black. So I'm going to start off first with the smaller details, and then we'll work our way out. So I'm going to start with the skinny IKEA brush, the one I said that I don't use very often for placing paint. That's the one I'm going to use. So I'm going to go black on the palette. A little bit of black, and we're going to water it down a bit as well. So let's see. I'm going to put a little bit here. In between that blue and purple. We're going to kind of streak that out a bit in a minute. Just very simply. All the way around. And inwards as well. That's real pretty. Light little taps. Just kind of light florps. There's not a lot of paint on the brush at this point. And we can even like steal a bit of paint from up here. And then some black detailing around here. Light tips. looks like tie-dye right now. It's kind of cool. Pretty much working our way from the inside out and then making the streaks after. Right now I'm just using water just to kind of, because those parts were already dry by the time I got to streaking. By the time we went streaking, they were already struck. We're gonna blend again, you know we are, so. Doesn't matter if it looks like crap right now. Don't want to damage the lashes. Water. Power. Ah, water's great. Remember to hydrate. Yeah, I messed up a little bit because there's not really any direction here. No direction at all. So that's the center area that I wanted to focus on. I'm gonna use my fat IKEA brush, and I'm gonna also add some black to the bigger areas. Start with this upper right hand corner here. Not watering it down too much. You want that black. Ha. Very light. Still want to do it. Still want streakies. You just don't want it to be too harsh. Or be puddles. Darken it up. Because I love this streak and I don't want to mess up the streak too much. I still want it to look a little streaky. Ooh, that's good. Just kind of want to darken those lighter black spaces. So I'm not using a lot of water, just mostly paint. Okay, we added the black. So now, I think next step we're going to add some stars. Our first round is stars. I usually like to do 2 or 3 rounds of stars. So we'll do the first round of stars, we'll do some blending. Be right back.
Okay, and we are back. So now we are going to add the stars, as promised. So what I use to add stars to my paintings is this cheap dollar store toothbrush I got. So I got the toothbrush, I got it wet, and then we're gonna get a healthy amount of white paint on here. But you don't want it to be too watery, because if it's too watery, then it's gonna come out bad. So I like to do a couple of, so you can see, I hope I don't ruin the painting. I like to do like a couple of little taps, kind of get that excess water out. And then we go over the painting, hold it like this with your thumb, and we're just flicking it on. Not too far back with the flicks. You don't want to spatter necessarily, you just want to speckle. A little speckle. And then if you want more speckles in an area, you just go over the same place a few more times. And when you need more white, you go get more white. Now I'm not just using any white paint, I'm actually using white gouache. 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 I don't know how you're supposed to say it, but I'm using that. It's, I believe it's a mix of watercolor and acrylic paint, but I'm not really sure. I just know it shows up darker than regular watercolor does. And I like that. Like I said before, I like to do... Damn. I like to do multiple rounds of stars. So this is the first layer of stars, it's like the background stars. Lots of stars in the pretty stripe. Okay, I think that's enough stars for now. So now we're gonna do some blending. Gotta get my little blendy brush for that. And since it's the first round of stars, I'm gonna use the IKEA one just to get it kind of going a bit. So I mostly want to keep the stars that are in the black areas, and the parts that are hitting the actual nebula, I want to blur them out, fuzz them. We're also going to be blending the black and the colors and everything as we go also. Still want to keep that directionality that we set last round. I realize we're fading most of the stars, but that's okay. It gives it kind of a 3D effect when you leave some in the area. That's okay. Like I said, it's just one round of stars so far. We're gonna add more stars. Right now this is just kind of establishing we are in space. Stars. Space. Nebula. Got some obvious brush strokes over here. And blurring them out. I'm gonna make obvious brush strokes less obvious. However we can. I want to make brush strokes look like a natural occurrence. Let's give this a little curl. Why not? Being a little more precise here because I do want to preserve some of those stars in the black area. Just because when you leave those alone in the first round, every once in a while, it just kind of adds a dimension, and then you add more stars, and then you blur some of those, and it just gives it some depth. So I'm leaving like those and those. So I'm focusing on the color that I most want to stand out. I'm starting it on that because whatever you start on, that's the paint that you're going to be picking up and dragging along with you. Just like those watercolor coloring books with the watercolor dots on the paper. And because I love this little stripe so much, that's the color I want to stand out. So next we'll probably put another layer of black. Maybe some color again. Maybe. I don't know. For sure black. Until next time. Alright. So now that's dry. And we're going to add some black up in here. Darken it up in all the spots that are already black, where we kind of whooshed some color onto and lightened it up a bit. We just want to darken it some more. Even in the pretty stripe, there's some black in there. I know we're covering some stars, but like I said before, those are just the background stars. Even if they're in the background, they might get a little covered up. That's fine. Like I said before, those stars were just to establish we're in space. It's to get you into that mindset, you know, space. The final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Seeking new life. Putting right what once went wrong. That's how it goes, right? Hoping each leap would be the next leap home. Pretty sure that's Star Trek. I want to encroach on the yellow a little bit, because I made it a little too thick. Show that yellow who's boss there. It's like, yeah, you're there, but we're more there. Space is more there! Roar! It might look like I'm ruining it, and I might be ruining it. I don't know. Painting. You can see that purple in the corners kind of coming out more now. That's why I love layering. I know I love the stripe, and I'm ruining the stripe, but it only looks like it. This is gonna help the stripe look natural. Yeah, simple layer, just some black, encroach on the lighter parts, darken the lighter black parts. That's pretty much it for this one. I don't even know what layer number this is, but still have a few more. More stars, more color, and a special mystery tool that we're gonna use. So stay tuned for that, because it's gonna be real cool. And if it's not, I'm terribly sorry. Alright, see you in a bit. So we are back, and now we're gonna add some stars. Then we're gonna blend out the black that we just put on. So let's get started with that. Our white, a couple tippy taps. Spackle on there. Okay, so now we're going to get our little skinny number 1 and a little bit of water, and we're going to start blending some places. And I want to start I want to start here. This is where I'm vibing. This is where I want it to be more vibalicious. So we're going to start here. Very gently, barely touching. Just kind of, you want to swirl the black and the color together. And then just kind of go with the flow. If it takes you somewhere, go with it. This is the part of the painting where I usually let it take me away with it. And I'll just kind of just go with it, you know, you just go with the flow. Yeah, see, that's already looking better. I feel like that's looking good. hope y'all think it's looking good. I'm feeling good about it. I'm feeling probably better about this painting than I have about any of my other ones. I feel like every time I do one, I get a little bit better at it. I figure more and more out. The thinner blendy brush gives us those smaller little details. It's not flooding everything, it's fuzzing just the edges. Because this is more like the final layers of the painting. This is when it's starting to look the way it's supposed to. And then we add those finishing touches, we do that subtle little blendy, and then it's a painting. Got a little too much black carrying over on the brush there, so I'm just rinsing it out a bit. And then I'll take the lighter color and I'll kind of bring it back in, cover that black back up. It's almost like connect the dots sometimes. Like you see a little cluster of stars that shouldn't be there, you want to fuzz them out. You just follow them and then it just becomes like this little gassy trail. It's really pretty. I'm a little more liberal with the water on the brush on the parts that I want to fuzz the most. know I'm being a lot more quiet this video than I was in my first one. So let me know in the comments how you feel about that. Do you want to hear more of my beautifully annoying voice, or do you want more just like time-lapse the paintings, shut up, all that stuff? Let me know. I'm eager for feedback. Constructive feedback, preferably. Don't hop in the comments if you're gonna be mean. I'm sensitive. And remember to smash that like button and ringling the bell and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And all those things. It's not over yet. I feel like I'm supposed to say that at some point. Because, yeah, I want to make more of these, and I want to make what people want to see. It's fun, and I want y'all to have fun with me. Dubbies. I think that's the breaking point there. So it's not just like a thick line of black, it's in the yellow peeking through it. Just goes to show you can place things on all splotchy, but as long as you blend it right, it's gonna look good. I gotta admit, when I recorded the last bit, I had a few beers and decided it would be a great idea to record. And then I woke up the next morning and I was like, how much black did I put on that painting? Oh no, did I ruin it on camera? But then I looked at it and I was like, no, this is super workable. It's gonna be great. So far so good, I think. I don't want to mess with this bit too much because I actually really like how that looks already. Yeah, that's so cool. And just like over on the tail, don't want to change this one too much. This area looks real cool the way it is, kind of. Just want to guide it slightly. Oh, that part's super pretty. Preserve it. yeah, that looks good. I think next layer we'll go in with some color detailing and add some more stars, and we'll bust out our mystery tool, a special tool that we will use later. And then that should be the end of it, I think. I'm digging where it's going so far. So yeah, we'll come back to this. Okay, so this layer I want to add a bit more black. There's still some little blocks of color that I think needs more black just to kind of make it look more spacey. And then I'm gonna do some color detailing. So we'll start off with the black. I'm gonna use the skinny IKEA brush, the little IKEA brush. So this, I feel like, is too much yellow still. I'm gonna trim that in just a bit. Just little dibby dabs. And I'm going in with my thin number 1 just to kind of make sure it gives us those lines. Very lightly. Back with my IKEA. Darken those lighter spots. Dibby dabs. Yeah. And we're gonna go back with that same little skinny mini brush, and we're gonna blend a little bit. Really, I just wanted to blend that part a bit because I want to add some color there in a bit. I want to add some more orange. Same skinny number 1. You have to find like a nice balance between the black stripes and burst of orange and yellow. That's what I'm trying to do right now, is just find that, where's that balance? How much is too much of one and not enough of the other? bitty flicks. Looking like plasma. Looking all plasmatic. Is that a plasmatic? Eh, you know, it's looking cool. Little pools of color, and then very light little lifting that brush back up as soon as possible. You don't want too much contact. Well, it's kind of shining on it, so you can't really see it right now, but once it starts drying, you'll see it. It looks cool. Still gotta figure out my lighting situation. I need something to soften it a bit, I think. I'm already bouncing it off the wall. Okay, we'll let that dry and then we'll do some more blending. Okay, now get the toothbrush. Get a bunch of white on the toothbrush. We're gonna make some stars again. These later layers, I just like to add stars every layer because I blend a lot out and then I regret it sometimes. So yeah, stars. That one's too big. It'll be something. Alright, I think that's a sufficient amount of stars. So now, thin little #1 brush, and we start the blending again. You don't want to blend too much, you don't want to dilute too much. That's why we're using the little bitty one. I'm going to start here with these harsher little black lines. This little millipede I made over here. just gonna put a little bit of yellow here because this area got a little darkened with, I put a little too much black here. Just put a little yellow here, we can blend later. I'm gonna add a little bit of the orange in there too, on the little edges. Okay, and I'll get back to that when it's dry. And over here, accidentally got a little bit of dry paint on there, but that's okay. It'll help. I just wanted to kind of darken that area so that little stripe didn't end so thick. I'll just wait for it to dry before I mess it up more. Wait for it to dry before I mess it up more. That's my theme song. I should change the theme song to the show to that. That looks good. So next will be more stuff. Yeah, I think the next layer or two, we should be done with this. We're getting very close to it. I can feel it. Because like there are times where I really hate how it looks, and I start doubting myself and everything about me and what I'm doing, and that's how I know it's almost done. So a couple more layers, like 5 tops. All right. First thing I want to do is start adding the rose and the mauve in the middle, just kind of make that stand out more. And I'm going to be using this little number. This is a skinny number 3. It's got a number 3 on it. So skinny number 3. We're going to add the rose in the very center. Okay, and very center, a bit rosier. Maybe add a bit of white to the rose in the very center. Make it a little lighter, and then more just straight up rose outside of that. Straight up rose, and then a little white in the middle. And we'll blend that in more too. That's the big thing there. And now I think it's time to bust out our mystery tool that I was talking about earlier. And that is this right here, the Arteza. And these are kind of shimmery, glittery watercolor paints. So I love these. I'm very excited to be able to use them on camera, so you guys can kind of see how it looks. It might not show very great with the lighting and everything, but you might get a good idea of how it looks. So I'll start with the yellow and orange parts, and I'm still using that little number 3. So yeah, so let's do yellow first. A bit of the lemon yellow, and I really want to water it down because I don't want it to be too strong. And we're just going to very gently dab it onto the yellowest parts. Kind of little plorpy dabs. Something in between a plorp and a dab. Little dabby plorps. Okay, and now add a bit of the orange. And we don't necessarily have orange, so we'll use the Aztec Gold in this palette. And just a little bit in the orange areas that we want to highlight. Alright, and now I want to highlight the blues. I'm going to use a bit of sky blue and a bit of powder blue from this glittery palette. So sky blue, a little bit darker, and we're going to go in a bit here with that. powder blue. And then a touch of frosty blue over on this beautiful little stripe that I have been loving this entire painting. And we'll put a bit of this sky blue in here on that darker blue area. And we'll use a bit of this orchid purple just to kind of highlight the more purple areas, such as over here and over here as well. And we're going to use a bit of the plum purple in these deeper purple areas. And a bit of cherry blossom pink for the middle. That's gorgeous. And right in the middle, we're going to put iridescent pink, which is practically white, with a little bit of a pink shimmer. Gosh, it's so pretty. I'm gonna put a bit more of the plum purple in too, just because that one is so pretty. So next I think we will add the final stars, and then we will blend everything that we just did along with those stars. And that should be the end of the painting, I think. I don't know what else I can add to this. So yeah, I think that'll be the end of the painting after that. Stay tuned. We're almost done, you guys. Okay, so it's time to finish up the painting. I think this is going to be the last layer. I'm pretty sure. First things first, gotta add our stars before we start blending. So we get our little toothbrush, dollar store toothbrush. Bristles too hard for the kids. And we get our white paint. Tap out the extra drippies. Yeah, I want to get a little more. Here we go. Okay, so I want more starage over here. In the middle of it. Especially out here. Oh no! I did it again! Sometimes the tappy tappies aren't enough, and then you get stuff like that happening. We're good though. Get some more white. Get out of there. I want a lot of little ones over here. And then the other thing we're gonna do, we're gonna add some glitter stars too. Really make it sparkle. So, get our pretty glitter palette. Boop, beep. Okay, and we're gonna go with diamond white right here. Watery, but not too watery. You don't want those big drippy drippies. Okay, and there we go. Subtle. Oh no, not so subtle. You see, now we got a big sparkly spot we gotta do something with. What do they call those? A happy accident. At least that's what they called me. Now we're gonna take this little tiny skinny one. This one's got a little number 0 on it. So I find that the more layers in I go, the skinnier my little brushes get. That's fun. Okay, so a little bit of water. And let's find somewhere to blend. I'm gonna start in the middle. So just wherever it's a little bit blockier. And I'm just kind of dabbing. I'm not even swirling. Just little dabs to soften the edges. Very gently. And then just blend it into the next color that's a little blocky. Because we don't want the glitter colors to just appear. Like, oh, look here! Like, we want them to fade in. So that's what we're doing. We're fuzzing them out so they fade in. I just love blending. There's something so relaxing about it. You can just turn off your brain and go with the flow. Yeah, just kind of following the color trails you kind of already made, just with that more shimmery top layer that we've got going. And again, we're just using water to spread this. This is just blending right now. I'm gonna put a bit more black there later because it's too thick. Well, I don't know, it's close to the center. Maybe it's not that bad. I don't know. We'll see where my head's at later. Okay, had a little bit of a spillage situation there. Oh no! So I had to take care of that. We're back to blending. This is why I use a very small cup of water. So otherwise that would have ruined the entire thing. Want to check it at all the angles just to make sure there's no big splotches. Oh, I almost forgot about one splotch. The unintentional splotch. So we'll fuzz that up. And we'll hand place a star in the middle of that, if I remember. Now just teeny tiny details. Little tiny things that bug me that I want to fix. So I got a little bit of black with my little number 0. And just little bits. And then over here, it gets a little too close for comfort. I want a healthy distinction between those two areas. It's little crunchy plorps. And then I'm gonna put some more stars in those little black areas we just made. Stars! So mostly in these black areas where I want to, just to show that there's depth here. Is it too many? Probably. Better too many than not enough. And then we're gonna make that one bright star that I said earlier. Get your little super thin brush and just a little bloop. There we go. And then we got our little number 1. And barely touching it from the middle. There you go. And we'll kind of blend the edges of that in a bit. So I think up here, these black bits are probably dry. So super clean the little number 0 and blend. Just dibby dabs. Like a little compass. Okay, you guys, I think we're done with it. I think that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you watched all the way through this, just know I'm so thankful and I love you. And I hope this has inspired you to maybe follow along, or maybe try some painting of your own, some techniques or whatever. Experiment. Do what you want to do, and yeah, let me know in the comments if you want to see more. Let me know if you want to see different types of nebulas or galaxies or space stuff. So yeah, we will see you in the next video, whenever that'll be. Thank you so much for watching.